Elections in the FCT are never just about who wins. They are about who understands Abuja as a living city, a place of politics, policy, pressure, and aspirations. Now, as the 2026 elections and FCT Council elections draw closer, manifestos are unfolding, alliances are forming, and candidates are attempting to define what change really means on the ground. From city transport to housing, market regulation, job creation, revenue generation, and safety, voters are paying closer attention to what candidates are promising and equally how realistic those promises are. Campaigns are now forced to confront the question of feasibility. What can truly be delivered within the constraints of local government administration in the Federal Capital Territory, and what is simply political rhetoric? But beyond the manifestos, this election season is also testing strategy, messaging, and ground mobilization. Who is speaking to the challenges facing the words? Who is engaging constituents directly? Who is shaping policy discussion, and who is merely campaigning for visibility? Now, just in case you think that I've forgotten my name, not to worry, my name is Godwin Sunday, and this is a Correro, a platform where we dissect issues that affect daily lives. So today on Correro, we take a closer look at the 2026 Federal Capital Territory elections through the lens of manifestos, campaigns, and candidates, and how these moving parts may shape governance outcomes long after the ballots are cast. Well, joining me tonight on the program is Honorable Olajumoke Katum Yusuf, APC candidate for City Center Ward 2026 election, and also a colleague, Sir Joseph Moses, a political analyst and media consultant. Well, we will take a short break right now. We'll go for a short break, and when we return, we will dive into the conversation to understand what is practical even within the Federal Capital Territory and what to expect in the 2026 elections. Please go nowhere as the conversation will begin after this break. You're welcome back. Now, before we went on that break, I told you I'm being joined in the studio by the person of Sir Joseph Moses, and also the person of Madam Olajumoke. Well, at this point, you're welcome to Correro. Madam Ed Moses, the gentleman.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me.
Well, it's an interesting time, right?
Thank you for having me as well.
All right, let's even begin, because we will say that ladies first. So let's even begin with you, Madam Olajumoke. A lot of expectations right now from a woman that is contesting for the city center. It's like the first time in the history of the Federal Capital Territory that we've seen a woman emerge as a card-carrying member first, and also the party candidate for the city center. But then, Nigerians watching us right now are curious. What informed your decision in even coming out for this particular position? Is it just about the representation, or there are other things that we need to know?
I believe, well, thank you very much for asking that question. Let me begin that way. I believe in service to one's community, and as a true patriot, I realize that the best place to start is in one's community and at the grassroots level, especially. It's not the easiest stepping out, but people have voices, communities matter, my community matters, and I felt like it was time that I stepped to the plate. I realized and I recognized that in the current administration of the AMAC councilorships, there's no female candidate. In fact, out of the 62 wards in Nigeria, currently there is no female candidate. So I said, why not? So I stepped up to the plate, I prepared myself, and the response has been so warm and inclusive. I love my community, I love my people. Where it all began.
Well, interesting. The first female candidates even for the city center, I stand to be corrected. But then it is what it is right now. I can even say at this point that you are the only female candidate from the All Progressive Congress. Interesting.
That's true.
Now let's even talk to Moses. Let's come to you. The federal capital territory is a very interesting place. First, we believe that the federal capital territory is the headquarters of politics in Nigeria.
Yeah.
But then, you are an indigene of the federal capital territory, and there is this speculation that the indigenes are scared to even come out to seek for political relevance in all space. But then, how correct is this speculation?
Thank you for that question, but I'll say the word scared shouldn't just exist. It's not true. You can't say the indigenes are scared to come out for political positions. It's not true. Abuja is set up to be a place of everybody. That is one thing I want you to know. And that is why other tribes from different states can contest. You understand? Most especially AMAC, Municipal Area Council. You understand? So being in the midst of competition, other tribes, it doesn't mean that indigenes cannot come out, contest, vote, and to be voted for.
So invariably, you're saying that the indigenes are not even afraid of coming out to contest.
How can they be afraid?
We've seen what has played out in the FCT, the likes of Senator Aduda, who is from the Baggy extraction of the federal territory, and he has been able to maintain a particular status quo for a given period of time. No person from the Baggy extraction has been able to challenge that seat over the years. Let's never put figures to that, because you, as an indigene, understand all of this narrative. How correct is it to say that Baggy people are not afraid of the political space going by all of these narratives?
Okay, look at it this way. It's not that Baggy people are afraid, and that was why Senator Philip Aduda was always pushed forward. No. It's about the chances of winning the elections.
There are no better candidates.
No, wait. I didn't say so. I didn't say so. I said the chances of winning the election is something the indigenes calculate a lot. You understand? So if someone has been there and someone is coming up, and we look at it and we see that this person cannot actually beat some other person in other parties, and we have somebody who can actually do that. So instead of losing the seats, we say go again. That was what was happening.
No competent person developed by this.
You can't say so. And I didn't say so.
You are indigent.
I didn't say so. I didn't say so. But you can see even now that we have many of them coming out. We have many of them coming out.
Madam Olajumoke wants to quickly react to this.
Yeah,
let's get you talk.
I'd like to say in my life, I have actually met quite a lot of very capable people of Baggy indigene, not to mention, in fact, the AMAC chairman himself, in person of Honorable Zakame Kalongo, the sitting minister of special duties, in person of his Honorable Minister Chisalo. Yeah. And in fact, in AMAC currently, out of the 12 wards, 6 of the wards in APC flag bearers are of Baggy descent. So I do sense a rise, but like he said, Abuja is very inclusive. I was born here and raised here in my ward actually, and so I know Abuja, and I feel Abuja is my home. As much as my parents may have come from other places, these are the streets I grew up in. Abuja is my land, and I love it so much. So I love the fact that Abuja is all inclusive, and everybody can come to the table, you know. But it's not to say that the Baggies, they're afraid. We come up and we share it. That's how I feel. But yes, there are other people. I think the 2027 elections will be quite interesting.
It will be very interesting.
Yes.
But before we get to that point, let's even come back to look at the issues around the manifestos. Of course, you are the flag bearer for the All Progressive Congress in the city center. there is one peculiarity that we've seen even play out in the 2026 elections, and that is the fact that most candidates are afraid, are even scared of even defending their manifesto, from the All Progressive Congress through to the Labour Party, the African Democratic Congress, and the AAC and all political parties are even trying to avoid the issues around manifesto. How correct is it to say that the candidates that are coming out for the 2026 elections of the Federal Capital Territory are banking on the relevance of the person of Nyesom Wike to deliver them come the February elections?
With all respect to the Honourable Minister,
person of distinguished Mr. Nyesom Wike, barrister, right? He has a large role to play, absolutely. However, he will not. He's not the, in every single ward, he's not going to be their leader.
Of course.
So I do believe every candidate should step up to the plate and say, this is what I have for my people. For instance, in my ward, I believe in people-oriented progress. My ward is already quite a developed ward. We have good roads, we have water, we have light. But you see, the people, I believe in the people, in empowering the people in things like skill acquisitions, in women empowerment, in terms of gender inclusivity. I believe that it's more than just what you bring to the table or what you're telling your people, this is what I have. Hear back from them. I'll give you an instance. In my ward, we have 30% of the residents are retirees, and they raised an issue recently stating that these tax laws, these tenement rates and AEPB, it's quite high for them, and as they are retirees based on their pension, it's, they're struggling a little bit. So my work as an intending legislator is to seek to mitigate some of these things by presenting bills that help them. So I learned this by listening to them, by sitting down with my community. I encourage other candidates to do so. Listen to your people. They know what is worrying them, where the shoe pinches. So please reach out to your people and hear what they have to say. It's not just about your plan. Sometimes they know more than you.
Oh, all right. So with this that you've said, can we now say that you candidates have a manifesto? Because it's as if most of the political parties are scared to even talk about the issue about their proposed plan, actions and programs, even when they assume office. Do you have a manifesto?
I do have a manifesto.
You want to share?
Yes.
Like I said, women empowerment, gender inclusivity. Women often feel their voices have been dimmed and they don't want to come to the table. As the female representative, that is exactly who I want to hear from. Where does it hurt? What exactly do we need to say? Let's enunciate it. At the same time, my ward, like I said, is blessed. In Area 1, for instance, we have Area 1 shopping complex, a historical site. We have shoemakers, cobblers. We have tailors. So in terms of skill acquisition, something I do plan to implement is where the youth or the people who really need these skills are trained by the same people in the community. So we facilitate that in the sense that we provide the soft ground and we provide, their training equipment. And so let's help each other, help your neighbor. So train your neighbor's child. So like I said, listening back from them, community development in general, but it stems with listening. Where does it pinch? But I'm centered on the people. The root of the problem is the people. Let's create an avenue where they help themselves and they're empowered and emboldened to do for themselves, not just wait on the federal government money or these little handouts, as well as soft loans. A lot of them are already active and they're well-to-do. They just need a little help to push their business and see how they flourish.
Let me ask you.
Before you add up, we will bring you back to even add up to what she has said. But let's take you back to even look at the issues around the Federal Capital Territory as an indigent of the Federal Capital Territory. Now, we understand that Abuja largely, prior to when it became the seat of power, was largely an agrarian society. Right now, it has metamorphosed, and right now is almost becoming a technological zone, if you would like to use that term. But then, a lot of communities from Nyanya, Gwagwalada, Kuje, Kubwa, and other parts you want to even mention are not really feeling the impact of rural council development. Can we say that the candidates that have been produced so far within the Federal Capital Territory in terms of their council, area council chairmen have not really reflected on what the people stand for? And looking at this election that we are even preparing for come February, does the candidate represent the average Abujarian and the average Gbagi and Buhari people?
Okay, thank you. I think last week on Wednesday I was on News Central discussing the same issue, and this same question come. They went to Buhari area and they interviewed some residents. And somebody was saying over 2 years they have not seen electricity. And I say it's a lie. In Abuja, under Abuja Municipal Area Council for 2 good years. See, government work like this. If government is working actually, they work with information. That is why we have community leaders. We have people who lead community in aspect that we need social amenities. You make a request. You understand? A chairman in a council cannot be in all angles of his council. That is why he has councillors around him, and the councillors have some team around the world in different communities, speaking for the communities. If, for example, you call Nyanya, you understand, they have electricity issue, and maybe the solution is transformer. You're right. You talk to your councillor can fight for you through the chairman. The transformer can be provided. You're talking about water, talking about roads. Unlike Mekolongo, I know so many wards that he has constructed roads, community roads, with street light even. You understand? Now you say many chairmen that have been in council, maybe whether the residents have been feeling the impacts. Of course, yes. Where Amax started, this is not where it is today. Where the Gwagwalada Area Council started, it is not where it is today. So from maybe from A, B, C, little by little, one person cannot do all. Then I wouldn't say Chairman A they did not do well or Chairman B did not do well, but all I know is that many have done a lot and residents have feel the impact. It's just that the government's issue of political office is a process. Somebody come, he take part, he does his own, the other person come, he take his part and does his own, and continuously.
Let me get Madam Jumoke quickly react to this because a lot of persons right now following us, even on the social media space, are disagreeing with what Moses is saying. And to be plain, they are saying that you are not being fair in your sentiments regarding the issues around administrative portfolio. But then let's get you react to this issue.
I'd like to thank my president, the best president that ever was, person of President Bola Asiwaju Ahmed Tinubu. What he did in terms of local government autonomy, I feel like the local governments, the area councils are more empowered to actually help their communities via different development schemes and whatnot. So it's not like it's not happening. It's implemented, absolutely. And you also raised a point saying, unlike my chairman, Honorable Mekalongo, it's very clear that the Honorable Minister, in person of Barrister Nyesom Wike and Mekalongo, are up and about. Every other day, they are opening one road or the other with street lights as well as other amenities. So people are working. I believe the government is working. Yes, of course. So just and like I said, local government, the resources are getting to the communities.
Of course.
It will take some time, but however, it's on its way. So what we are asking from Nigerians, just a little bit of patience.
Yeah.
The development is already on its way.
Madam Olajumoke, before we even get to that point, we've done research going to places like Biaji, across. We've done research by also visiting places like interior part of Buari. When you say people are wrong to say that they've not seen power for the last 2 years, I think a lot of residents within the Federal Capital Territory would disagree with that comment. Because if you travel down to Kuje, you travel to the interior part of Gwagwalada, we get to places like Abaji, which is still part of Abuja. We look at places even in Lugbe and try to narrow this whole conversation back to Garki village and other part of the Federal Capital Territory. A lot of persons will say that the FCT residents have not really felt the impact of democracy taking it from Jikoi, Orozo, Kurudu, Karshi, and the rest of those extractions. There are places in those communities that have not seen road construction for 24 years. I'm bringing this to, even it's on public record, that a lot of communities within the Jikoi, Orozo, Begi, Kurudu, Karshi, and that extraction have not seen road construction for 24 years. And such, we'll say that those communities have been denied the dividends of democracy. A lot of communities have not seen what they call infrastructural development. So, correct me if I'm wrong, but to say that these communities have not experienced the dividends of democracy, and it's wrong to assume that they've not experienced dividends of democracy, I think right now, with what the comments we are having right now on the social media space is saying that this is not correct, because some persons have not seen infrastructural development. The candidates that we're presenting right now for the 2026 elections, can they efficiently and effectively deliver on accuracy and accurate representation of the people if they emerge as chairman? Let's even begin with Moses before we come back to you.
Mr. Godwin, that is absolutely, is 100% incorrect. If you mention Jukwe, Karu, down to Karishi, just go there, now like this. You even see from Nyanya, from that overhead bridge.
Don't take it too far. We start from Kurudu. Take it to Ajata. From the whole of Ajata for 24 years, they've not seen development. There's no road construction in the whole of Ajata for 24 years. We'll take it down from Ajata to Mango, down to that extraction. Moses, to be fair to these people, they've not seen development for 24 years.
I just told you.
And this is the Federal Capital Territory of Nigeria. These candidates that we are presenting right now, can they deliver on the dividend of democracy? 3 days ago.
When last did you visit that? 3 days?
Yes.
And you don't see any work at all?
3 days ago.
You didn't see any
the
work
only
at
work
all.
that is going on in that access is the only work at Karu. That is a water pipe construction by a company, and the only work going on again is by another company known as Bio One Indigenous Contractors building a road that takes you to a dual carriageway.
Okay, let me tell you.
But we take it to that access. I'm not telling you speculation.
I just want to be specific now. I want to mention the communities, the street.
I can mention to Lugbe, I can come from Lugbe. These candidates that we're presenting, can they actually deliver on the dividends?
On behalf of the candidates, can I answer this? Thank you very much. So it's not, I'm not one to speak on other people's realities, because you don't know. You don't know if it's the road that he passes every day, and he may know this for a fact.
For journalists, I
But
do my research before. I do my research before.
It's an area I know very well too.
Yes. Now, but what I'm speaking is as a progressive, as someone who intends well for her people, and I'm hoping that my fellow candidates also do the same. This time it will be different by God's grace. We should be more people-centered. Let the fear of God encourage you and inspire you to do well for your people, because your history never lies, and your report card will say oh, my councillor did this. Yes, he fought for this road, because that councillor will be there by God's grace on the day that they cut the ribbon. So this is to my fellow councillors. Let's try and do well. The people actually have expectations. It won't be business as normal. So even if it hasn't been like that before, Mr. President has empowered us. We are ready. He's giving us everything we need to do the work. So let's do it well.
Please.
All right.
See, I will say, if actually I'm not supposed to be a party person here. Actually, I'm not supposed to be an APC person. I'm not supposed to be a PDP person. I'm supposed to be
in Nigeria, of course.
Fine.
You are permitted to air your view.
Based on what I've seen
in the Constitution.
Based on what I've seen, during these 3-4 years of Christopher being AMAC chairman, I can tell you, it's either him directly or he goes through the Honorable Minister of FCT. There are streets created, tied with street lights.
Right. So Moses, just in perspective, you're taking it from the point of, Chris, we are not trying to tie this conversation to a particular candidate.
No. But you said these people.
I called Buhari. You did not take that conversation to Buhari. I mentioned Dugbe.
I'm just allow me speak now.
You're taking it. I don't want us to put this conversation around.
Just allow me speak.
Of course, we will give.
Okay, I'm just coming from airport precisely.
That is doing fantastically well.
I'm just coming from airport road. I'm just coming from airport road precisely. Bosa primary. Have you been there? You see that the roads are not tight.
You said that they are. It is wrong to say that there are no dividends of democracy.
It is wrong. You can't say there is not at all.
I cited locations to you right now.
And I say it's not true. I can prove you. There are what?
You're saying Ajata.
If it has not getting to Ajata, you can't say they are not working.
For 24 years, Ajata have not seen street lights.
That means
for 24 years, it's not my turn.
Of course.
For these candidates that we are presenting.
Can any government work at once and finish work?
Oh, so they have to wait for 24 years?
No, it's not about 24 years. It's a process.
Me to understand all
it's a process.
For 24 years.
If they have not gotten road, they have gotten other things. They have lights. They have lights.
That they've not seen dividends of democracy, they've not enjoyed dividends of democracy.
It's light, not dividends of democracy.
Can I just say that the FCT does have a master plan, and things are on a particular schedule. I do believe things, however, projects can run concurrently. It's not like it's turn by turn. Yes, Zone A can be working at the same time as Zone B, at the same time as Zone C. So maybe things might be a bit slow. But there are issues outside of federal government. There could be contractor issues. There could be people. You hear cases of where people themselves block the road and say, you must settle us before you come to our community. There are many, many factors. So let's not just only blame the government, but let's say, look, there is a master plan. There is evidence that work is being carried out. And like I said, a little bit of patience, prayers, and it will be soft for everyone by God's grace.
All right, Madam Olajumoke, before we even talk, let's even look at the candidates. I don't know if you're aware right now that the issue around cultism in the Federal Capital Territory is skyrocketing. It is predicted that the Federal Capital Territory is going to be the headquarters of cultists and cultism activities in Nigeria in the next 3 years. Hope you are aware. Now, places like Duse, Buhari, Kubo, Kubwa, Lugbe, Gwagwalada, Kuje, Wali, Abaji, and to mention Nyanya has already been taken over. I don't know if you're aware the issues around cultism. Now, it is no longer a try to even pacify these issues. Now, looking at all of the policies, even the blueprints by some of these candidates, can the residents of the Federal Capital Territory trust powers in the hands of these candidates to deliver on the dividends of democracy by rejuvenating and transforming the FCT and positioning it to not just become a den of cultists, but then a more of a practical demonstration of a developmental society where every man can stand for himself and fend to survive.
But
can we trust this candidate?
Yes, but it begins with the community. You have to say something. So you have to observe what is happening in your community and don't be afraid to report.
So in a situation where you've mentioned Me Kalangu, of course we can't take that away from him that he's a performing chairman. I'm not holding brief for him. But then we've seen situations where local government chairmen they are far from the communities. A local government chairman, area council chairman in the Federal Capital Territory are living in a complete state of oblivion when it has to do with the practicality of connecting, which the grassroots is supposed to be. But then we are talking about the area council election in 2026. Residents within the Federal Capital Territory are also curious at this point. Can we trust these candidates that the various political parties are presenting right now, to be fair to the residents of the Federal Capital Territory?
Well, as a progressive, I can beat my chest and say I have full confidence in all the chairmanship candidates across all 6 area councils. As long as their communities are willing to work with them, I do believe our security forces, community vigilantes, everyone needs to come to the table and say, look, we collectively want development, we collectively want growth. And the confidence I have in my people, well, not just my people, in these well-capacitated people, they will deliver.
Interesting. Moses, want to quickly react to this before we yeah, please go ahead.
Let me tell you something.
Please.
Talking about security of the residents that will be going out for vote rights, or maybe in their daily activities or life living. See, there is no city in the whole world that you won't find this kind of people you are mentioning. There is no city you can totally eradicate or eliminate such people. But there is a process of security going on. Haven't you heard about Operation Sweep? It's known for this FCT command. FCT command security is a cut across all the area council. And the command don't work living aside the area council's executives. No. So everything is working fine, security is fine, everybody is fine. Talking about the cultists, this, that, just as she said, if I live in a community, I see somebody doing things that are not normal. If I don't talk, nobody will know. Securities are not spirits. The chairmen of local government are not spirits. They are human beings. So you speak and alert them, they will do something.
So can we trust these candidates?
Why not? Yes, trust them.
Well, interesting to even talk about. Let's even move to other pressing concern, which is the issue around campaign. I'm bringing this to you, Madam Olajimoke. Looking at the campaigns, it is being also speculated that a lot of candidates that are even vying for political office within the Federal Capital Territory are right now not even aware that campaign have started. Because the campaign have been a silent one. It has been almost a no campaign scenario. But then, what could, in your own take, what do you think must have even led to all of this? Is it that the candidates are already confident that with or without campaign, they will emerge as the all progressive candidates or other political party candidates?
Oh, no. As they say, politics is local. I can tell you for a fact, living in a municipal area like this, a lot of the people living in my ward, they go to work, they have 9 to 5s. And the best time that I get to actually campaign is when I visit them door to door, between the hours of 7 and 10. I'm always on the streets. In fact, just yesterday I was at Area 8, and they were quite receptive, quite homely, quite welcoming. So it may not be that people are on the streets making noise, doing parara, but I do believe in one-on-one interaction. When you meet people where they are at their homes, you know, and you tell them who you are, you show them with sincerity and integrity, you use those words backed by experience, backed by evidence, they listen to you. So maybe my formula is different, But and I strongly believe that most other candidates are doing the same. We're knocking door to door. It's no more about being on the streets. Maybe we might, yes, we have upcoming rallies. However, for people to listen to you, sometimes, you know, at rallies, it's more about the music and the gyration as opposed to people actually listening. So when I meet you one-on-one and I tell you, this is who I am and this is what I genuinely want, do you believe in me? Would you support me with your guidance? I want to be able to represent you well. I feel like they are more in tune to listen.
Interesting. Moses, let's bring this to you. Looking at the campaigns so far, can we say that the Federal Capital Territory residents are ready for the 2026 elections, or we should begin to write to INEC to perhaps postpone the election?
That question is so funny. But of course, just as she said, if anybody is going to vote for her, that person is aware that she's contesting. You know, I've been in the election process in 2019. You understand? I contested for councillor in Roseau Ward. It's not about going in mass, streets to streets. These days, there are social medias, there are event centers. Like, if you go some weddings, you see politicians who are invited there to speak. It's part of campaigns. In a wedding congregations, you may see more than 300 people. And if you are able to speak to 300 people and you are convinced that you have convinced them too, 300 people, 300 votes is something. And next week we do the same thing. That's how campaign has been in process for now. So everybody is.
Should we have the conversation around postponing the elections?
Can I please say that, please?
And this, because I believe that my people can't wait to vote me in, by God's grace. They are really excited. I walk down the street and they say, our councillor. And I say, by God's grace. But that's because they're eager. I feel like INEC has done a great job in preparing. The timetable so far has given sufficient time. There was the time for registration. Now is the time for collation. Please, people, go out there and collect your PVCs. And then come out on the 21st of February to vote us in. We're willing to do this job. We're here to serve you. So please come through for us. Let us come through for you.
Well, Madam Olajumoke, we will have to give you an invoice for that particular one because that's a free advert coming from you. But then, before we even begin to talk about that issue, let's even drive back again to the issues around ALMAC in itself. You are the first female candidate, even for the city center ward.
Under the APC.
Under the All Progressive Congress.
That's correct.
No, I'm coming to that mention because it would be wrong of me not to mention that you're coming on the platform of the All Progressive Congress. But then, a lot of young women have been shying away from elective positions and try to look the other way because they believe that it is a male-dominated world. What informed your decision to become and contest for the councillorship position? Now, knowing full well that the northern part of Nigeria has enjoyed some form of a patriarchal system of government. What informed your decision, basically, or primarily?
Take it a little bit personal here. I have 12 brothers, and I was raised in a household where we were treated very fairly. So that was my beginning. And at the same time, I have a lot of very strong female mentors in this system who have encouraged me, emboldened me to say there's nothing wrong with you as a woman. There's no reason you shouldn't step out. There's nothing that makes you less than the other gender. So if you have a belief and you're willing to do the work, step up to the plate. Nobody should tell you no. It is your right as a Nigerian citizen. And I say this to other young women who are aspiring, my younger sisters, people who will be my mentees, my age mates, and even people who are older than me. Don't be afraid. Your community is your community, and nobody knows it like you. So step up.
So in all of this, have there been some form of challenges, even from when you pick the ticket? Because, again, this narrative that female candidates hardly come out to even want to campaign. And when even given the platform, a lot of them will hide under the shadows of the men and try to push the male figures out there to help them organize all of this. How's the journey been? At least let's even get that journey from you for the first time as a breaking news to all Nigerians.
Everyone faces challenges, and nothing good comes easy.
So what's your story?
From the moment that I won my primaries and I was presented with my certificates of returns, a lot of people doubted it. They doubted that I was capable. They said, why me? Some people followed the religion route. Some people said I'm just not capable. Some even were ageist and they said I was too young. But I've convinced them, I do believe, because I've presented my track record. I have worked in the civil service before. I have carried out various projects. My educational background, my qualifications, my manner of approach. I'm very down to earth. I meet my community where they are, in the markets, on the street. Nobody is afraid to say hi to me. They say UK is okay, and that's because I present myself to them personally. So what exactly is your problem? What is your fear? And the moment I do, I say to them, what are your concerns? Let's talk it out. Because there's nothing communication cannot fix. And I do believe I've been able to convince a lot. Some even say, Kai, no, this woman is different. And I'm like, I'm not really. You just have to give more women the opportunity. And then when you give us a chance, we'll prove you right.
And this is not a chance of a politician that has been characterized by a lot of rhetorics and theatrics that added value to the pictures created by their bubble speeches. When the people of Amak eventually bring you on board, will you match words with actions?
You see, I was trained by women in politics and governance. I was trained by the City Boy movement. I was trained by people who are active role holders right now in this political climate, and they aren't doing their country wrong. They are very proud progressives. They are very proud to serve. And if this is who taught me, and this is where I learned from, this is my school of thought, why should I do anything different? I want to make my country proud. This is the only one I have. So I want to make it proud. I want to give back to my people, and I want my people to be proud, not just on the days in which we play football and not just on other platforms. Let's just be proud to be Nigerians. Let's invest back in our country.
Interesting. Let's bring this conversation to Moses. Now, Moses, looking at where the FCT elections has been over time and where we are right now, in your own assessment, have there been growth so far in the whole trajectory of election preparation and also the whole INEC implementative strategies? Has there been improvements?
Yes. I don't think there has been any time where elections are cancelled in Amak. I don't think so.
Like incomplete elections?
Yeah, invalid. So it is well.
All right. So we're looking at where Amak and where the FCT was 26 years ago in terms of its own democratical journey and where the FCT is right now. There's been this fear that this election will witness the lowest voters turnout because first, the issue around campaign, the issue around political culture, voters, even ideology, looking at the political culture of cognitive orientation, affective orientation, and the whole evaluative orientation by the all that forms the strata of the political culture. But then, in your take, with this all purview on political strategies and also programs being put in place, mad this election come February 2026.
That INEC has presented results. In Amak alone, there have been over 14,000 new registrants. So 14 more thousand people are willing to step up to vote. So I feel like it will actually be different. People will vote. So we expect a higher turnout. We expect higher results. People are more interested. So I look forward to the election.
In the absence of campaigns, in the absence of active campaigns, you were looking forward to,
See, Godwin, I told you before that those who want to vote are ready to vote. Voters are parties is a personal thing. but those who have candidates to vote must vote. You understand? Those who are willing to vote are already prepared, waiting for the day to come to vote. Simple as that.
So, with or without campaigns, voters are ready to vote.
Once the date of the election is announced and everybody know that this date is for the election.
This is why most candidates are not even campaigning. Knowing fully about that, give or take.
I don't understand why they are not campaigning. You don't. How many months do you want them to campaign before the election?
I thought when INEC reel out the campaign whole outline,
They are doing it.
we would have seen.
Not following them.
Well, we'll be following. We thought we'll see more drums on the streets. We'll see more flyers on billboards. We'll see more of even politicians coming out. But then this is not the issue around.
We are in modern days. I've told you before. Social media is there.
Well,
door to door.
You have mentioned. She has mentioned what she does. She has just mentioned what she does. But
congregations to congregations. She mentioned.
We've traveled in the
town hall.
We've traveled. How many candidates are doing town halls? How many candidates are putting flyers on?
You don't expect me to tell you how many candidates are doing that.
This and the low campaign policies that we've seen so far, can we say that AMAC is ready for?
Okay, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. You see, sometimes when you look at politicians, you understand. Sometimes you see they don't work. When they come on board, they are coming to work for themselves because they spend money on campaign. They want to make that money back, this and that, this and this. I think many people are trying to cut short their expenses so that when they come on board and start doing something, it shouldn't be as if, this person maybe after first tenure, he will work, and then second time he's going to work for himself. No. So let me tell you, it's not about gathering people these days and then beating drums and all that. I think campaign is going on. She has mentioned door to door. And I just told you that there are processes, there are other patterns.
Let me get the last take from, because I've been saying that all the time is fast spent.
Godwin,
yeah.
Honestly, I appreciate coming out here because you gave us a platform to speak up. Now, I like to thank you. You say you want drums. I'll give you drums. And I will invite you.
We'll look for those drums. We'll look for those drums. And of course, we'll follow through on that campaign because we understand that the drums are silent. But we'll follow through to ensure that drum, we hear the echoes of those drums. But this is how far we can go tonight. I want to say thank you so much, Olajumoke, for finding out time to be with us. I will wish you success in the whole electionary processes. And also, we pray that you emerge victorious in the election.
We hope you'll be on ground to cover our win.
I will follow the drums. Thank you so much for finding out time to be with us.
Thank you for having me. Thank you so much.
Well, viewers, this is how far we can go tonight on Correro. Don't forget that you can join the conversation on our various social media handle currently showing on your screen. And you can also download the Rapid TV app from your Android and iOS devices to keep track of our broadcast. My name is Godwin Sunday. Always remember that peace and unity are the pathways to progress. Do enjoy the rest of your night rest. Bye for now.